For ladies, you need to be able to know when the guy really loves you. Love is not a feeling. Hi, this is Neo Dunsi, and we're still on the Bedroom Talk channel of Good News Channel TV. Now, earlier on, we were asking, where do you get your source of information from? And we straight away said some very important things to help you. Now we're continuing. Now I asked, where do you get your information from when it comes to sex? Is it from your friends? Is it from the internet? Is it from pornography? Is it even from your own experience? Now, let me put it this way as we go along. Every product has an inventor. We know that every product has an inventor. Now, an inventor always has a purpose for the product. Now, the purpose of a product often determines the design of that product. The purpose often determines the nature of the product. And then when you look at that, again, the purpose often determines the needs of the product. So, you have, for every product, you have an inventor. Now, for the product, there's always a purpose, which the inventor would know before going ahead to design the product. Because more often than not, most products, even most services, are always solutions to a problem. So, the inventor would have identified the problem and come up with a solution, which could be in a product or in a service. So, then he has a purpose for that product or service. Then he has a design for it. Then he knows the nature of what he wants to create or invent. And then, of course, that thing, that product, will have some needs. And the needs often are determined by the nature of that thing. Now, the product or service, again, will have some functions that it performs. It's going to be meeting a need one way or the other. Now, that being said, let's look at sex as a product. Who created sex? Or who invented sex? Let me put it that way. Now, of course, it's going to be whoever created human beings, because human beings have sex organs, right? So, God created humans. I mean, God created me. I don't have any doubt about that. Now, God created humans, so God gave humans sex organs because God designed human beings to have sex. I mean, the way people carry on these days, you would think that sex is man's idea, not God's idea. But God created human beings and He gave them sex organs because He wanted them to have sex. Okay? So, if God is the inventor of sex, then, as you probably know, every product has a manual, right? Every product has a manual because the inventor will describe the features of the product in the manual. The inventor will explain how the product is supposed to function, what it can do, and then the manual will also explain how you handle the product. It's going to talk about the needs of the product. It's going to even have what they call the troubleshooting section, which tells you how to handle problems when they do occur. Now, there's always a manual. In the case of sex, where's the manual? It's in the Bible. That might be surprising to you, but it is the Bible. You find, for example, the Songs of Solomon is a description. It talks about the sexual act between a bridegroom and his bride. A lot of people are surprised about that. You find out that when people are talking about sex, they hardly ever refer to the Bible. They think it's sometimes something maybe unholy, something that it's dirty. It's not something that God is interested in. But that's very, very incorrect, because God designed sex. God is interested in sex. When God created man, and you're looking at Genesis chapter 1 and from verses 26 to 28, God actually said to the man, multiply, replenish the earth. He was saying reproduce, in effect. How would man reproduce without having sex? That's why God designed man to reproduce or multiply by having sex. So God is definitely interested in sex between humans. So there is a manual. You check out the Bible and you'll find out that it does have a lot to say about the sexual act. So we've established a few things now. Sex was God's idea, or sex is God's idea. God created humans, gave them sex organs. Now there's a manual for sex written by God himself, and that manual tells us what sex is all about, the idea of sex, the nature of sex. It talks about the needs when it comes to sex, and the functions, the purpose. So I encourage you, pick up a Bible, look at the Songs of Solomon, and you'll be pleasantly surprised that there's a lot that the Bible has to say when it comes to sex. The only condition is sex must be between married couples. Don't go away. I'll come back and we'll continue.